Alright, so my name is Sam Alberth, and I've chosen Under Armour as the company to analyze for my capstone for my Robert Morris class. So to go through a little bit of history of Under Armour, they were founded in 1996 by CEO Kevin Plank. Kevin was a member of the football team, and he got sick of changing out his sweaty t-shirts. He realized after practice that his compression shorts were staying dry, so he created a t-shirt made out of the same material and literally sold them out of the trunk of his car. He also used his grandmother's basement as his office. Under Armour first kind of caught fire there when they were featured on the cover of US Today with the Raiders quarterback Jeff George, and his first sale was to Georgia Tech at the end of 2006, which word of mouth kind of caught on, and this opened the door up to many Division I football teams. In 1999, Under Armour was featured in 2 Warner Brothers films, Any Given Sunday and The Replacements. In 2000, Under Armour was the outfitter of the new XFL Football League. In 2003, Rosewood Capital invested $12 million into the company, and in 2005, they IPO'd and they raised $153 million in capital. Today we're looking at Under Armour being the official uniform provider of Major League Baseball in 2020, and they sponsor big-name athletes such as Stephen Curry, Tom Brady, and Jordan Spieth. So taking a look at the 5 forces analysis for Under Armour, the competitive rivalry is intense. There's many different competitors within this apparel industry. Within the industry, there are a handful of companies that make up the majority of the market share. The big players here are Nike and Adidas, Reebok, Puma, Champion, Under Armour as well. Up until 2017, Under Armour had explosive growth, much more than Nike, and as a whole, the industry has low growth due to saturated markets. Competitors are constantly putting out new styles, new trends, and they're always trying to be the cool company to consumers. For power of buyers, it's high. There's low switching costs. They can make their choices based on price or brand recognition, whatever's cool at the moment, and consumers can go ahead and buy what they want. The entry barriers to the apparel industry are medium. Apparel items are easily created, and they require no complicated manufacturing techniques. At the same time, though, consumers are more likely to buy a well-known athletic apparel brand over a lesser-known brand. The suppliers in the analysis here have a low to medium power. The big players, Nike and Adidas, suppliers are dependent on them to stay in business. So, for the threat of substitutes, consumers show a strong brand loyalty, but they also, again, make purchases based on price and what is cool. For the SWOT analysis for Under Armour, the strengths are that they've had great revenue growth. In the last 3 years, they've doubled their gross revenues. Under Armour is known as a prestigious brand. In consumers' eyes, it's up there with Nike and Adidas, even though the company is much smaller than their competition. For weaknesses, rapid growth has also been a weakness. Under Armour's expanded too quickly, too fast, and they're stretched a little too thin. Also, Under Armour has higher prices than the competition and a lack of international sales. Under Armour's international sales are really only 25% of their gross revenues. So as far as opportunities go, referring back to the international markets, they've had some really great growth there, but it still only accounts for 25% of total revenues. There's another opportunity within the athleisure movement. It's forecasted to be a $350 billion market by 2020, and Under Armour is going to start focusing on the athleisure movement here in late 2018. E-commerce is also an opportunity. We've got some growth there, but it still only makes up 35% of total revenues. You can see 40 to 45% in competitors as far as e-commerce revenues goes. And for threats, competition, Under Armour's very small compared to the competition. As you can see here, Under Armour's gross revenues are $5 billion. Nike up there with 34, and Adidas with 24. and brand dilution. As Under Armour looks to expand, they must be careful not to lose that strong brand loyalty, as some of the prestige may be lost as they expand. So taking a look at the Under Armour gross revenue analysis in 2017 here, you can see the growth has slowed substantially. So the strategic issue at hand for Under Armour is that they need to find a way to increase revenue. So the recommendations I have for Under Armour are to, 1, increase women and children's offerings. The current revenue from women and children apparel is $1 billion, which is roughly 20% of Under Armour's gross. If you take a look at a competitor like Nike, they have 35% of the gross revenues are from women and children's apparel. So there's certainly room to grow here with women and children's offerings. So my advice there is to advertise focused on women and children and to expand offerings in that field. My second recommendation is to increase direct-to-consumer channels. E-commerce made up only 25% of revenue in 2017. Here, if you can increase e-commerce, so it's a chance here to increase sales and avoid the cost of those brick-and-mortar stores. And in today's business world, consumers prefer to order online and have it delivered straight to their house. So my recommendation here to boost the direct-to-consumer channels via the internet is to create apparel for online sales only, and also to offer customizable apparel online. So, sneakers you can design yourself, jackets, etc., and that'll get consumers on the website buying Under Armour product. My third recommendation is to increase foreign presence and sales. Foreign sales have tripled here in the past 6 years, but they still make up only 25% gross revenues. If you look at Nike and Adidas, foreign revenues are 45 to 55% of the gross revenues for the year. So there's a lot of room here for Under Armour to grow. Out of the total foreign market in sports apparel sales, Under Armour only has 15% of that. So there's a great opportunity here. So my recommendations here are to increase advertising and the presence overseas. Get in there and endorse some of these professional teams, football or in America soccer teams, and then also continue to roll out new styles and retain that strong brand name. Try to keep up with what is cool and appeal to the consumer that way. My last recommendation here is the athleisure movement. Again, it's estimated to be $350 billion by 2020. Nike and Adidas make up 25% of this market, totaling $50 billion, and this was in 2016. Under Armour has less than 1%. So Under Armour's big focus has always been on the athlete, increasing athletic performance, and there's a huge market opportunity here if they can get in here and grab some of these consumers. So to take advantage of this, I would offer aggressive advertising. You want to have offerings to men, women, and children. And again, you want to keep updating your offerings, always have new styles coming out, always remain the leader, and retain that coolness advantage. So to summarize my recommendations here, for Under Armour to increase their gross revenues, we want to increase women and children's offerings. We want to increase direct-to-consumer channels, more specifically on their website, and increase foreign presence in sales. And then lastly, we want to get in on the athleisure movement that's so wildly popular today. So if Under Armour can do these 4 things here, I think they've got a great chance to increase the revenue and find that strong growth that Under Armour has had here in the past. Thank you.